That's for sure.
DJ Mix Dog.
Anybody need a Zin?
No.
Anybody trying to go to Cincinnati? Take your pants off, Zinny the Pooh, whatever. Dude, I'll work play all fucking day while it's out.
This
This
sounds okay.
Zinny Cooper, like from the Wonder Years.
Yeah, that is an obscure reference for young people to understand. We all had TV Land, brother.
Does this sound horrible?
Does this need to be closer to me? I don't know.
You just gotta talk into it.
Here we go. Boom.
Guys, we're white guys who think we're funny. Podcasting comes naturally. Just believe.
Dude, I was pumped to have you in, Schrilla. How you been, dog?
I've been well, busy, man. Fuck, super busy. We can curse on this.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I didn't know.
This is going out to all the
adolescents out there, the comedy adolescents.
Well, these are
fucking good, buddy.
These are the mics from my sister's Christian podcast. So
That's true. They do smell
there's
pretty.
gonna be
religious.
a transference.
They smell like Chris Tomlin. That's what that is.
Oh,
that's a drop.
what a nice deep cut that
Did
was.
it. I mean,
I was in-
he's
I
the
was in the
most
full-
famous
Yeah,
worship
he's-
leader on the planet.
Oh,
But
this smells like the second album of Jars of Clay. You know? No, dude.
I listened to a band called TFK, 1,000-Foot Crutch.
oh yeah, I remember that.
Remember
I
TFK?
think I saw them at a church with like Family Force 5 and Skillet.
Wow.
It was nuts.
Wow.
Throw up your rock fist if you're feeling it when I drop it.
It was like you couldn't have an event, a Christian skateboarding event, without 1,000-Foot Crutch showing up just to do that song.
What a lovely subculture of American the Christian skateboarder kid was.
What's the
Just Ollies and Leviticus.
Yeah, dude, which Baldwin is it? He had like a team. I think it's Steven
had it, yeah.
had
Really?
a Christian skate team, and I'm sure it had a hilarious name, but I won't Google it.
Jeez. I would like to find out what that was. There's all these really great stuff. Like one of my favorites as a kid was what was it called? God's Warriors.
Right, the strong guys.
The strongmen.
Yeah. Phone books. And
Yeah, so they come in there and they take a frying pan.
The worst part about
God did this for Jesus.
the worst part is that channel was right after like Cinemax. And
This is not a channel. They came to my school.
Oh, the live event.
Yeah, the God's Warriors
my
came to my
God.
school. It was a big event. And you're 7, and your
came to
brain
your
is
school
just
or your
blowing.
church?
They came to my school. I went to a Christian school for a couple of years.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
North
Actually.
Cup Christian, shout out.
Checks out. Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Tracks hard.
Yeah, I did freshman and sophomore year at a Christian school, and then I went to a public school.
You were like, get me out of here, dude. I gotta sin.
There was a small part of that when you're like, all right, we're going to let you go to, because I went for track and field. So I went because of like a sports reason. And there was a small part of me that was like, dude, I'm going to swear.
I can't wait to say, damn, out of context.
Dude, I'm about to get crazy. But it was a wild contrast because I get there and it's like kids dipping in class and just spitting on the floor.
That's did you go
Reckless.
to high school at the Roadhouse?
Yeah.
The double deuce.
Yeah, the double deuce.
I took science inside of a Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, that's tight. Or what was the Texas Roadhouse used to do peanut shells?
Oh, that
Simpler
was
time.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Five Guys? Doesn't Five Guys also do
They
the
did that, I
the
think.
boiled peanuts?
I think they were just
No, they
salted
just
roasted.
dry roasted peanuts while you wait, and then you're not allowed to throw them on the floor. I get kicked out for that.
Yeah, and I still do it
I
because
still do it.
I'm a
'cause
man
I'm-
of
'cause
tradition.
I'm a rebel. Yeah.
Because things are different now, dude.
I am a man of taste.
Of great honor.
I am a grand American.
I might write the new President Trump and say, hey, could we make this a thing where we can just throw peanut shells all over?
Make Roadhouse crunchy
Make
again. Texas Roadhouse.
It's already
not to be
done.
confused.
It's already done.
Wow,
Excuse
dude.
me.
We have a state for that. It's called Louisiana.
I looked at all these peanut shells, like, wow, what a bunch of peanut shells there are.
Well, that's like when you think about somebody like Trump, somebody who's so rich, there is a part of him that's just like, well, why wouldn't you just go to the other state? Because he knows about state. He's in a different one he's in 3 states
Yeah.
a day. So he's just like, we already have a state for litter. You want a litter? Go to Florida.
Yeah.
Garbage, great people, but it's a lot of garbage. I've never seen so much garbage. We're the
didn't even
greatest garbage in Florida.
We didn't even get 10 minutes in. You guys are trying out your Trump impression.
It's not good.
I
Mine's not
refuse,
great.
dude.
It's okay.
Oh, we got a little There we
Ooh,
go.
a little
There we
jiggle
go.
it.
See, this is why the headphones are key.
You guys got them on.
I got them on. Yeah, thank you. I'll be here to bail you
I'm
out.
trying not to. I feel like I have to mannequin this so I don't move and
I'm
like.
trying not to touch it. See how I've got it.
Well, it's like me figuring out how to do all of this because I am, above all else, technically almost inept. So
Perfect person to run upon.
Almost was generous.
Blind leading the
this part, the sitting and talking bullshit. Yeah, I got that. I got
Bro.
that down. But it's just making sure, like, I'm trying to see if that red light is still blinking, and it is. But I have horrible eyesight as well.
You can't find some comedy thirsty intern that works here to
I'm sure I could.
be your producer.
Also, while you're talking about here, the Helium Comedy Club in Alpharetta, Georgia, Helium Atlanta.
Quick plug to our one and only
My
sponsor.
God, what an awesome place!
Phenomenal.
Every comedy club should just take notes. They're the Yankees of comedy clubs.
How great is it? Well, so
They really are.
It's a weird time to bring that up, but this comedy club can only lose to the Dodgers in the World Series. No, yeah,
Helium LA coming soon.
not to blow them and not to like disrespect any of the other comedy clubs, but it's like there's just a thing when you get a clean slate and somebody comes in and puts in the work, and it's like.
Yeah.
It seems so simple, but playing music for a long time, it's like, yeah, you want a venue that's longer than it is wide, and it has good acoustics and the whole thing. But the comedy club's the same thing, except it's the opposite. And so have the layout be wider than it is long, and have like where you feel like you can.
It's
you can
exactly
sorta
what that
fuck
is.
with a bunch of people. It's just set up right.
They're
It's
very
just
cool
nice.
with letting us come in and play. Like, and that's the
Comics.
biggest thing.
We are here
environment.
now. Actually,
The place not even open. We broke in here. I think it's okay. We're not even allowed to be
tell.
here. No. It's a well-oiled machine. I love it. Their staff is awesome. There's a lot of sneaky good comics that are staff. Kristen and the team are just they're welcoming and they know their shit.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a new place and you're OTP, you know me.
Yeah, you
come
know
on.
me.
Come on, spend your money here.
This is what
great
brought-
bartenders. It's
What's that?
awesome.
I got the OTP boys in here.
That's true.
Yeah, OTP is. Well, I've told people this. I've rallied for outside the perimeter comedy and life, and
right.
let me tell you, we have everything. And here's the thing: we switch up. I'm so happy to have rooms that are purple and rooms that like have a big old red shit. Freedom is. I'm hosting that tonight. Trump might show up there. I have no idea. It's one of the most Republican things, but we actually have people from everywhere, and that's what makes a really, really good room. Is that we let in everyone. It doesn't matter.
Dude, look at Ryan.
Everyone.
Dude, Ryan's been cheating the camera for the last 3.5 minutes.
I don't know what to do. I
He's
don't know.
not talking to us.
He's too fired up, dude. He's running for office. He's
definitely not.
He's not even sure which office.
He's not talking to us. I know that.
Tell the
I'm so
people.
sorry.
Because
I'm
we've
trying
had this conversation
address
5 or
the
6
people.
times.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
This is a hang podcast. It's
No,
just
it's-
us.
Oh,
It's just
you guys?
us.
All right.
But
Yeah,
it is,
yeah.
it is
They're here.
interesting because, like, obviously it's a politically charged environment right now. But it's if you're somebody who feels politically charged, but you're willing to suspend that for an hour and a half to see a comedy show and let silliness and let
Turn your
clever,
brains
quippy
off, yeah.
bullshit. If you can just and you don't even have to turn it off. You just have to be like. Everything that's said that I don't agree with is not a personal affront to me.
Yeah.
And it's not even necessarily somebody trying to offend. Hopefully,
We're in Alpharetta, Georgia. Everyone's going to get it. Look, that's
there's,
fine.
There's
We're
no dummies here. No.
Yeah, everyone here, like, it's like the crowds that I've seen like 3 or 4 shows here now in the last 2 weeks that it's been open. Every single time the audience is nuts.
Yeah.
Right, and
It
it's
was
been
out of
like
control.
with Randy Feltface, we had a puppet here.
Yeah.
Very, very, very funny. I'd never
Yeah,
seen him.
it was a
I'd
good
never
show.
seen him. And the crowd just wouldn't, like, even though they were very boisterous and loud, like, they couldn't get through his act. He just went, I wrote jokes for this. I want you to know that I could do this without you.
Oh, I didn't.
That's right.
Wait, Randy Feltface is a foreigner, dude?
Dude, he's
a
an
foreign
Australian puppet. Dude.
Damn, dude. The wild.
He's an Aussie puppet.
What's your
Wow.
what's your
was
take
phenomenal.
on Australia?
My take on Australia? Let's see.
Trying to switch it up. I don't know.
I guess as long as you stay out of the middle, it's pretty chill.
Middle seems.
Middle seems fun to me.
Yeah. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Is that where all the bogans are? Is
That's
that
where
what
you
they
go
call them?
on a walkabout.
On a walkabout.
Yeah, you figure that out.
What is that? Is that
It's
a gay rendezvous? What is that called?
Walkabout is when you just wander
It's
and
a-
you wait for the world or something to get.
Originally, it's sort of this like a rabbit Aboriginal coming of age thing. So if you're a 13-year-old boy, I think it's mostly boys.
Yeah.
Will go on a walkabout for however long it takes until they have like a starved psychedelic experience.
A bunch of lonely 13-year-old boys in the desert. What are you trying to make me horny?
They do it one at a time, and there's like so much.
There's a secret about Australia. There's never been a bunch of anyone.
It's very true.
It's a big ass place with a couple people, and a lot of them congregate next to the opera house.
This was a floating prison cell.
Right.
You know, that's
that we just dump stuff into, and it's great now. Now it's great. Now it's barbecue. Now it's surfing. Now it's it is kind of a police state, but you know it's
you take the guns away, man. Oh,
Jesus Christ, we're not gonna get through it. It's like you try to get through the first episodes with no bias, and then I'm like, but why did you pick these people?
Yeah. That's
you're clearly biased towards.
No, I mean,
straight
white guy.
We all
got
have
his legs
bias, buddy, but my bias is strictly barbecue related.
Yeah, if you have barbecue, I'll check it out.
I've never had Australian barbecue.
Some of it's people, I think. I don't know. I haven't done any research on that, but some of it's long pigs.
Well, I've had gator. Like I've had weird.
Gator's awesome.
Gator's the move.
I think Louisiana is kind of the Australia of America because they get some wild stuff there. I hate to really shit on Louisiana. We were talking about that before, but Louisiana, it's a wild place. I've never been. I want to go. We're gonna go to New Orleans. Me and the wife. We're gonna go on a drinking trip.
New Orleans,
yeah, New Orleans,
rules,
man. It's a little dirty. You know, get a little beignet action.
Dude, y'all just get like an Airbnb.
Yeah,
we're probably gonna do
right when you get there.
One of those.
I'm gonna tell you what this is.
Old shotgun house.
Let me get to this. You're gonna get there. You're gonna get there with your wife. You're gonna get one of those Airbnbs that's on one of the top porches. So it's all these kind of wraparound porches. This is how
veranda.
You get one of those. You keep the door open, the window open so you can hear the street, and then you watch Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, okay. While you fool
love
around.
that movie so much.
Yeah, and you and your wife, you sit down, you smoke a joint, and you watch Interview with him with a fan, and then you just go out. You just go out into the streets.
It's been a while since I watched Interview, but it has a ton of gay undertones, right? Which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's
Starting to put some pieces together here.
Huh?
Nathan Lowe is actually born in 1842.
Yeah.
And he's a time-traveling hipster vampire.
I am a gay vampire.
He's an immortal gay vampire, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, yeah. It's one late night wreck when you do the Nolans trip.
Yeah, tell me.
We went to some strip club in the quarter, or just off the quarter, and it was awesome. They were super nice. And then these ladies, we were in a band, so it was like we were just a little bit cooler than all the smelly old creeps that were coming in.
Right.
And these girls were like, "We're about to get off. Are you guys hungry?" And we were like, "Yeah."
Of course.
So they're like, "Meet us at the Three-Legged Dog."
What?
And we were like, "Oh, cool." And we sit at the bar.
It's not a restaurant. Just look for the three-legged dog.
Yeah.
There's a food stand. That's where we're at.
There's a dog, and he's got 3 legs, and he starts speaking perfect Cajun, and he'll lead you to the...
His name is Mr. Crawfish.
Yeah. Oh, Seabold Captain.
And don't worry, he'll tell you where it is. He can speak.
Yeah. So
He speaks French and English and Creole.
a little bit of everything. It's all kind of meshed together. Yeah. So we go down there. We sit at the bar. We're already pretty drunk. And then the guy's like, "Oh." And he takes the menu. The bartender takes the menu. I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "You don't need that. We're about to put out a fresh batch." Oh. So they dump a whole cooler full of Low Country Boil, tons of crawfish into a cooler.
Just oysters.
What a power move.
And speaking
You
of
don't need that.
You don't need this. And
I got you covered.
I trust you,
Brother.
sir.
Yeah.
So the best part is, speaking of Australia, I'm sitting there fucking ripped, just crunching through crawfish, mud bugging, and like
mud bugging?
That's
mud bugs,
yeah,
dude.
mud bugs.
I'm like,
That's
"Oh
what
my
they call
god, this is so good." These Australian guys come in. They're a little drunk, but they're like ready to fight drunk, and we're all just like silly goose
Like
drunk.
Australian, that's like a base state drunk. Like that's
Right,
when
right,
the big because that whole country just sun up to sundown, they're dead.
You only had 5 beers?
What the fuck was
But
that?
their beers, yeah, that was good. Is that a leprechaun from Australia?
From
I'm
Philadelphia.
working on it, man. I'm working on it.
So these dudes come in, and one of them's hitting on one of the dancers, as classy people call them, the strippers that we were hanging out with. And they weren't really into it or whatever. But I'm just sitting at the bar eating the thing, and around the L of the bar, these 2 guys congregate. And at some point, they look at me, and I'm smiling like a fucking idiot. And
Like a pig in shit.
grins.
and like
You got
laughing
food
about
grinning.
Food grins.
Yeah, I'm just like, ugh. Special needs farting in a bathtub, and fucking one of the homies comes up and says something funny, and so we're laughing and doing whatever. And these Australian guys thought we were making fun of them, so they're like, "Oh, you making fun of us?" And I was like, "Nah, yeah, but give me a second."
Full Russell Crowe on you.
Yeah. I was like,
But just an Australian guy getting mad is so funny.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Why, you fucking taking a piss?
"Why are you talking to me?" So I
Did
was
they
like,
say taking a piss, or is that a British
who
thing?
cares, dude? It's about America right now. So.
Are you sure?
Hey, we're in an America first.
So I was like, "Nah, man," and his friend is like holding him back, and then the bartender's like, "Yeah, you guys gotta go. These guys are cool." And I was like, "This guy's my dad. He just adopted me and was like, I've got you, son. Fucking here's some
Kicked out the
crawfish."
Aussies.
Dude. Yeah, kicked him
He's
out.
like, actually, you are being a little retarded.
But yeah, but then I just kept getting drunker and eating crawfish, and at the end of the night, I just was looking at this dancer like, "I want to kiss you so bad right now." She's like, "No," and I was like, "Yeah, good call. That's dumb."
You hit on what was she, like a 55-year-old woman?
No, she was like 24.
Oh, okay. So this is
Petite
actually a
blonde.
story about you getting creepy with somebody.
I was 27. I wasn't. I wasn't the disgusting werewolf you see before you. I mean, I wasn't cute, but I was.
Yeah, there's
was
a
in a
lot of
band.
hair on that side of the.
Yeah.
But
of
you
the
were
room
full
there,
of
bro.
vitriol. Like you were just, you were ready to rock.
Pumped
piss
up.
and vinegar,
Yeah,
but not
pumped up.
piss. The
Amped.
other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wasn't like. I was just. She was like, "No," and I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And then we just
Good
kept
call.
hanging out.
Almost all the Australians I've met have either been terrifying rugby dudes who are just like they
Which
are.
are the bros.
Yeah. Oh, they're the bros in a half.
Those
but
guys.
they party too hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas just like I couldn't, like, even as a 26, 25-year-old guy, could not handle the level of drinking that they were at.
For sure.
Because they were they were off the boat. Like, actually, this is a funny story. My first,
Oh, when you started off the boat, it's
Yeah.
a good story.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens next. I know it's a
well,
good
I was
story.
thinking about it, like, first Australians I met. It was my freshman year. I was at University of Illinois, and there was a co-ed dorm. So I was in a dorm for like 6 months, and then I got an apartment.
Are you guys both Illini?
Oski Wow Wow, baby.
You were in Illinois?
My family is. I never went to college. I was not smart enough.
I went there for 2 years. So I did first 2 year there and then transfer, just like high school.
That's right.
But my freshman year, we were in these co-ed dorms. Co-ed dorms. So the dorms, like, there are men and women on the same floor. Like, when you're 18, you're like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And we're all just drinking and going crazy.
Yeah.
And there's these two foreign exchange guys that are almost 30. And they're living in the freshman dorms with everybody. Looking back, a little creepy. But at the time, you just think, these are older dudes, whatever. And they were just like, they had all the booze. So we're like, we're partying in here. And they had this enormous bottle of Grey Goose. But it was almost empty. Like, very nice. And we finished it. And we're hanging out with some girls in the quad or something like that. And then one of the girls goes, "Oh, I've always wanted to try Grey Goose." And he's like, "Oh, I got some in there. I got some in the room right there."
Oh,
like,
was it?
yeah, he's like, I got some in the room. Let's figure it out. And I know that we've already finished all the Grey Goose. And I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" He sprints to the room. I run behind him. The girls are coming. I run in there. He's got a bottle of Skull vodka.
Oh.
Remember the Skull? And he's pouring it into the Grey Goose bottle. And this stuff is... This girl comes in, she takes a sip, and she goes, "This is the best vodka I've ever..."
Placebo vodka.
I mean, it was set up from the beginning because only a hot 20-year-old girl can get away with saying, "I've always wanted to try Grey Goose."
Oh,
Like,
You know what I'm gonna do? If I went to like an Audi dealership, I'm like, I've always wanted to own an Audi. They're like, fucking, what's your credit score?
let me see
you
your-
tiny little
Yeah,
leprechaun.
that is there's a double standard there for sure.
No,
Awesome.
come
But
on.
so he filled it up with cheap booze, and then
Cheap
you guys,
booze, and then she drinks. She was
none the
drinking.
wiser.
Yeah, well, I remember seeing her face, and then seeing these Australian guys both just look at each other and go, "We're sticking with this. Like, we're sticking with the program." Like, they were, like, and they will go probably to their grave saying that was Grey Goose. But it's like we saw the magic trick. It's like these guys have just, and they were just doing nothing but pouring turpentine into their system from sun up to sun up. Those big ridiculous Foster beers.
I like
that
a
you
little
get.
turpentine. It's the perfect sipping Ace Hardware product.
You little terps.
Little terps.
When you're hard up,
If you put turpentine, it's turp and perp.
I mean, I've seen you on one Fernet, so maybe.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Are you talking about Turple drink?
Turple. Buddy,
Somebody's gonna come in and
your
play on
wordplay
words. It's gonna be me.
Yeah, it's got to be.
That's why you brought me in.
Yeah.
It's cool that they had like a culture of honor. It was just in the wrong place.
It was definitely in the wrong
They're
place.
like, we will never speak of this.
Yeah.
I've got your back. But they're like,
Dude,
we're gonna trick these idiots.
trick these children.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking back, they were too old to be in that dorm.
Yeah, dude.
I thought, like, when I first started to tell that story, I was like, this is a fun story. And then I got like 2 seconds in, I went, this might not be as fun as I thought it was.
Did it just get darker in here?
Because I haven't thought about that in years. And then you said Australian, I was like, oh yeah, those fun guys. And I was like, maybe they weren't fun.
That is, I mean, that's the problem with anybody that is bros to the core, where you're like, if those two guys in New Orleans were already with us hanging out, and we were on the same level of drunk, we could have been taking the piss out of them the whole time, and they would have been doing it back, and they would have been hanging out.
But it's these different levels.
But when of course, but then you still have to mature a little bit every year, because if you're still the bros to the core and you're like, we should go back to college, you're like, yeah, but are you getting an education or being
what have you learned?
Is that red light blinking?
I don't know. I can't see. I'll check it out.
Dude, you're the man.
Oh, that's true. I'll forget.
The audio right
It's all
there.
this wee stuff.
You did?
No, I'm just kidding. I needed your ears, dude.
My success is your success,
That's
TJ.
right. That's right, dude.
Vice versa.
And that's really the whole thing, is that there's plenty to go around.
We all eat.
And the rising tide or whatever. And
Rising. What did you said that the other day? Rising tide floats all boats. Is that what
it.
you said? That's
That's
a great one.
that's totally me, too. Nobody's ever said that before.
He's like, well, it was Nietzsche, but whatever.
Take credit.
Or fucking some
Dude,
philosopher.
please take credit for our
Hopefully it
ancient
was-
philosophy.
All right, I
think
got
it
a
was
question.
Thomas Sowell, actually. No,
Okay, hell yeah, that's a
Question, what's up?
Do you remember anything like the worst thing you ever got grounded for?
Yeah.
Out of left field.
We were talking about grounded.
Yeah, we were grounding issue. Grounding led to grounded. I made a misbehaving as a kid.
The show
kinda.
Grounded for Life. Pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
That was fun.
we got there. Well, yeah, I
Sure, you go first.
graffitied. Well, I'm trying to get you set up. Some stew.
He's in his car, just writing all this out.
Yeah. I got grounded because I actually graffitied my middle school, and I wrote a bunch of swear words all over the stadium, and I had a Magnum 44 marker. It was like the biggest permanent black marker. Whoa. And here's the thing.
Is this solo mission?
I was stupid. Yes. I lived right next to the middle school where I grew up in Cumming, Georgia.
He still does. Everybody.
Yeah, and
He's got binoculars.
I still sneak in and pose as a student. I want to get my times tables done. No, but I graffitied a whole bunch of curse words. I thought it was funny. Otwell sucks, dick, and all this that. And then I didn't have the foresight to change up my handwriting, and me and the assistant principal were kind of. We're kind of close because his name was Tim Corrigan, old TC. I called him TC as a middle schooler,
Like turd cutter.
yeah, yeah, Tucker Carlson, yeah.
heard of him.
And so he's like, Schrilla. He didn't call me anything about. He goes, Schrilla, did you come into my office, buddy? And so I sat down. He goes, he didn't ask me if I did it. He goes, why did you do this? And I was like. And I'm not a very good criminal or anything, so I just kind of confessed. I was like, I don't know, I thought it was funny.
I liked the marker. It was a cool marker.
I got it for Christmas.
And I'm sorry.
Was it just swear words? There was no
was
like
swear
message.
words.
There was no message.
Well, no,
No,
he said Otwell sucks.
Otwell
Which
sucks,
would have
yeah.
been the best defense if you're like, TC, come on, dude.
I love this
place pays you 50 G's a year to be the principal. This place does
Yeah,
suck.
this place does suck.
I'm not saying it doesn't have potential, which I didn't have time to write.
Yeah,
'cause,
yeah, the
I saw.
marker ran out.
I thought I saw a police.
But I got in trouble for that really bad. I had to go after school and scrub and it took forever. It took me, I think, 3 weeks of going back after school and on weekends. Because I was there for maybe an hour, just under an hour and a half, writing all this.
You
Yeah.
weren't hip to
paint thinner or nothing. You were just scrubbing.
Yeah, that's what
Soapy
happens when you
water.
grew up without a dad. He doesn't.
Were
teach
you
how
like
to
crying the whole
vandalize.
time? You're like,
No, I was.
stand by it. This place fucking so.
I was.
I can't wait till I'll write it. I'll write it better next time.
I was very. It was a mixture of like I felt accomplished and proud,
Nice.
and I was like, but also like I felt I did my crime. Now I'm doing my time. You know, after school, and and then kids were like, "Did you write that stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, man."
You get a little bit of street cred.
A tiny little bit, but I still got beat up.
What grade is this?
6th.
6. Oh, dude, that's a good time for it.
That is
Perfect time because you're a kid. You're dumb. That's the time to make mistakes.
I never really got in too much trouble. Like I was a pretty straight-laced kid. Well, no, I got in a lot of trouble at school.
Yeah.
But like me and the principal were pretty cool. Like he like thought I was funny, so we could mess around in there. We did
Dude.
like
Did you ever get grounded for anything?
they left the trophy case unlocked.
Oh, okay.
So we made like a scavenger hunt for the administration, like with like the tournament trophies that the team had won. Like we went in and stole them, and then made we put them a bunch like under the tiles, like in the principal's office.
You're not getting in
like,
trouble.
stuff
You're
like
just creating fun.
that. Yeah, I mean it was a good time. But
Making school fun.
I did get in trouble once. There was an old teacher that I didn't like, and I won't say his name, but like Mr.
Blankety blank.
But he sucked, and he was we had like a cabin trip every year, like a retreat or something.
Yeah.
And he was like in charge of our area, and he was super old, and he had hearing aids, and he was just snoring really loud, but you couldn't wake him up. So he took his hearing aids out when he slept. So we just started playing poker on his chest.
That's just
Like,
good
we
fun,
all just
dude.
crowded around and we were
Poker?
playing poker,
Poke
like
him.
and we had like our like the cards there, like the pile was there, and he just didn't. We got through like
6 hands.
several hands, like a bunch of hands before he's like,
What?
what?
It's that ace of spades, right?
It's all fun until head coach gets hard or whatever.
So I said like, you're being disrespectful. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
what
but-
that
Of
was.
course, that's half the bit.
Yeah, there was no.
Did you get in trouble for it? Did you get grounded?
I got in trouble. My parents kind of thought it was funny. I think.
That's fun.
That's one of those things where your mom and dad are like, hey, 2 weeks, no TV, but pretty
Yeah.
fun.
Well, like my sister got in trouble a lot, so I didn't get in trouble a ton. I got in trouble for stuff
rage.
for her. Like I would like take the fall.
The scapegoat.
Yeah, like she'd try to convince me that like she'd think I was cool if I took the fall for that thing that she did, and I listened.
Did you just bank up all that goodwill and cash it in one day?
No, we went.
I need you to
he-
hide a body.
Sometimes he
that's
stays
when-
at her house.
My
so-
sister and I
yeah.
we started our war in like 8th grade, and then like that went through.
She's
Younger or older?
just a
2
little
years older.
Older?
Right, yeah.
So I was always hanging out with people in her grade, and she didn't like that. And there was like we bashed heads a lot. And we
This
got
is
in a
my
lot.
turf. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like the Jets and the Sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just get out. What are you doing here, sis?
And then you guys break into a pretty gay song.
yeah. She was a horrible person, but she's better now. She's much better now.
People can
Yeah, yeah.
change.
I
dude.
suck too. I was really annoying, and she was a horrible person.
You still kind of suck, but it's
Thanks,
okay.
babe.
But in
Yeah,
like
that's
our
true.
kind of way.
Yeah, in a good way.
In the way we love.
What about you, Teej? Did you get grounded for anything? You seem like you were a little miscreant growing up.
I was kind of a dork most of the time, but there were like a couple of small ones. My mom came upstairs when I was playing
with yourself.
Tekken.
Okay.
And I lost a fight and said, damn it. And she was like, what was that? And I said, nothing. By the way, my parents curse like sailors. They're not
Yeah.
Baptist or nothing. And she
do
was
as I
like,
say, not as
it
I
was a
do
very
kind of
do as
thing,
I
yeah.
say. And so I had to take a bite off of the side of a dial bar. So
Oh, I get the soap?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
she had
same here.
threatened wash her mouth out with soap for years.
Is that a North?
I had my grandparents did that to me.
No, I think it's
Nor-
like
I thought it was a northern thing. It's just an old school thing.
Just an old school
any,
thing.
any salt of the earth people. The
I had to.
Midwest, the
Did you ever
South.
have to pick a switch?
I had
No.
one pick a switch situation with a grandma,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think my mom read her the riot act after, and she didn't even go hard. It was like a scare tactic. I picked a medium switch because I had always heard like, don't pick the smallest one.
Because they'll send you back out.
Yeah.
So it's like psychological warfare because you are picking what you're going to get beat with.
Yeah.
The problem was my grandma at the time, she passed away, not Mama's side. Oh, it was all like rose bushes back there.
Oh,
So I go back and it's like everything had thick like thistles on it.
every rose has its thorn.
So I'm back there,
Every house has
I'm
its
back there finding the
mark.
perfect one, and I'm pruning the thistles off of it, and, like before she gets see.
Just
And, like
rubbing them on the driveway.
she goes, "What are you doing to that stick out there?" I'm like, "Nothing."
But so there was like a time in early middle school where we made a substitute teacher cry the whole class, but I didn't really get in trouble for that because it was like everybody
Group
kind of got a
effort.
little bit.
Yeah.
We had a little plausible.
How'd you break
deniability.
her? How'd you break her?
I think that I Believe in a Thing Called Love song had just come out by The Darkness, and I kept putting the CD in the CD player that was there for us to like learn French or whatever class that was, and we just did not respect her. We just we would talk over her and make fun of her, and she was like, "I don't make enough money for this," and she started weeping and left. And then an assistant principal came in and had the rest of the class on lockdown for the rest of the period.
Funny. That's what, like you did like the inner city English class.
Yeah. It's the movie where the teacher has to gather themselves and come back and like, I can do this. But she never came back. I think she opened a crystal shop. But the big one was, I think I was in 7th grade, and both my parents worked. So after school, usually I would ride the bus home to another student, a friend's house, and their mom. My parents would pay their mom to watch me, and it wasn't really like watch it. It was like they can hang out after school. I'll come get him after.
Yeah.
And
place to get out of the rain.
Right. Yeah, because if I had a key to our house. It was
Latchkey kid, bro.
Yeah, I was a big latchkey kid,
Same.
but it was like for some reason not every day. She didn't like it every day. So,
Yeah, I get that.
so she liked this lady, and she was always super nice to me. And one of the other kids she watched, her son, the kid that watched me, or the fucking words, who cares? The lady's son who watched me was older and was kind of a dickhead. But then there was this other kid who's also being watched by this lady, but we're really just riding bikes around their neighborhood.
Right.
And then we got bored and we dug a huge hole in the woods just next to their house. And then she found that and was like, "You guys have to fill up this hole." And we were like, "But that was our whole thing." I didn't even mean to do that. Didn't even mean to. Can't stop it. Can't turn it off.
HOL thing and then WHOL.
So anyway, the big reveal is that her... explain it.
Dude, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, this lady's cousin lived next door with a like car graveyard all around his like barn and house and whatever.
Sick.
So we chose one of these like Chevy Capris and just threw rocks until we busted out every window that would break from a rock.
Just escalated the trouble.
Yeah. And then
Like, fuck you, I'm not digging this hole. I'm gonna bust out this car.
we got addicted. It was like we couldn't get the back windshield because it's a little bit stronger. We finally get it. Then it's like, obviously the big dog is the front windshield.
Yeah.
So
big dog.
it will not break.
The final boss of car windows.
And it's treated, it's like plastic on both sides, all
yeah.
that bullshit. And I think it was a Cavalier. It was very fun. And so I like freak out and go berserker mode and hit the front windshield with a shovel until I can get the tip of this shovel that we were using to dig holes. Having our own little version of the movie Holes in the Woods. I like beat the shit out of it. Of course it's not going to shatter. But then it was like 2 weeks later, and I'm probably upstairs in my room watching Tremors for the billionth time.
Yeah.
My mom's like,
Solid movie.
she says my whole name.
Oh.
Tyler James Nickerson, get down here right now. And I
Tyler
was like,
James
oh,
Nickerson,
my
get
Christian name, dude. So I come
I
downstairs.
thought it was gonna escalate where he's like, yeah, and we killed that mom.
Killed that guy, dude.
It's like, whoa, dude.
Holy shit.
I only got grounded.
So
for 3
the
weeks.
owner got pissed. The owner of the
So
the
then we have
cars.
to go down to the police station, me and this other kid. In
Ooh,
Bar.
police involved? That's a
Yeah,
grounding.
and they,
That's
like-
a month? What'd you get, a month?
I think so.
Month is-
and I
month
think
is
my
rough.
parents were always pretty bad about like tapering. So it'd be like the first week was nothing. You're not going outside. You're
Nothing.
not talking to other people. You're not eating
Second
food.
week.
You're not. It's like by the 5th day, it's
They
all
got you like
starting.
penance whips.
I'm just, I'm doing cat of nine tails. Flagellating myself before the Lord. And so they threatened us with like we could we might have been like 14 or 15 now that I'm thinking about it, but they threatened us with like we could charge you as an adult. My parents had to pay all this money to get it all fixed. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, I want so bad to be like, this car's a piece of shit, dude, and he doesn't even care about it. It doesn't run. It hasn't run in you. But I of course don't say any of that.
Your Honor.
Yeah. But we were in like a holding room, it looked like a juvie cell, and they're like, we could send you to juvie for this or whatever, and we could try you as an adult.
How old were you?
Probably 14 or 15.
Oh, okay.
right.
And this is local cops. They knew your parents,
they're,
that kind of thing.
they're fucking with. I mean, they didn't know my parents, but they're definitely.
They're
fucking.
like, we're
I'm
gonna-
sure
Yeah,
they
yeah.
took my parents aside, and my parents were like, scare him.
Yeah,
And
that's your parent. Yeah,
That's
it's
I'm-
like yeah.
That's what I miss about the '90s. You can do that nowadays. Like things have to be
Get sued,
done.
yeah.
Things, it's a little much. I remember.
You can't even just have a cop come in and tell your kid he's gonna get raped in jail.
right.
Like, what is this country come
When's it
to?
coming?
Next 4 years, we're
man.
gonna have a little.
So, like, I didn't
I'd
get
say
in
that's part of
trouble-
Police reform. I like that.
I didn't get in trouble like that.
Scared
Like,
straight stuff.
my parents learned early on that wasn't gonna work.
Right.
So like when they take things away from me or ground, like I was so ADD, I was just fine.
Figure something
Like
else
if
out.
there was a time when I was a kid, they told me we had everything out of your room, and you were playing with like 2 rocks.
Playing with nothing.
Yeah, like just enjoying myself. Just
ADHD is a superpower.
nothing
Gotta figure
bothered
it
me.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, my parents finally figured out what bothered me was like exercise. So like if I got in trouble with my dad or like with grades and stuff like that, I had to run logs. So when we lived in Texas,
Hell yeah.
I ran logs. So we had like
Jesus.
40 20-pound logs on one side of the yard, and I'd have 5 minutes to run all the logs to the other side of the yard, and my dad would stand on the back with a stopwatch and
pretty
time
good.
me.
Your dad's a
and if I
CrossFit
didn't, and
instructor.
if I didn't get it done in time, he would add a minute, and I had to do it again.
Oh my god.
So sometimes you'd be out there for 4 or 5 rounds,
jacked
and then
kid.
it's like, and then you're just done. Well, it is what helped me
how you
in
got into
sports.
sports.
I
So
was
when
about to
we
say,
when
yeah,
we moved
this
from
is-
Texas and didn't have the yard anymore, I ran stairs. So when I got in trouble, you'd get 100 stairs. All the way down, all the way up is 1. So all the way down, all the way up is 1, and that counts. So it's like during family TV time. So they're watching Frasier or whatever,
Right.
And or Seinfeld or something, and I'm like trying to catch like as much as I can.
What Frazier
on
say?
the way up?
He had a
And
quip, I know it.
Yeah.
And if I didn't sound off, like if he like asked me what number I was on, or sometimes he'd make me sound off the whole time.
Damn, dude.
And if I didn't sound off, I had to start over.
Do you think that if you would have got in trouble just a little bit more, that you might have been in the Olympics just now?
Well, it's like I got to
Just
when
a
I
little
finally
bit more
started.
rebellion, you got a medal.
Well, I was like a theater kid, and then when I finally started throwing shot put, I had like 28-inch thighs.
Yeah, you
Look like a young white
Not-
Barry Sanders.
You were beefy. You're still a pretty beefy dude
beefy
now.
boy,
You're a
yeah.
big boy. You're a big boy. Got some muscles and all that stuff and everything. But man,
Kiss him.
like
But every assignment,
Jesus.
that I did had a value on it. So if it, like a B is
Yeah.
like 5 stairs.
Okay.
oops, sorry.
That's probably a pretty good.
A B is it's definitely how I'm gonna discipline my kid.
Yeah, I like this idea that. I mean, I'm kind of hip to the idea, and I don't have kids and whatever, but if I do, I'm kind of into the idea of bringing back the like initiation ritual, the coming of age, the walkabout, but where you drop your kids off in the woods, and then you've taught them skills to survive. And
We're all-
Okay, so I thought we were just gonna have fun exercise, and you're like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give my kid a buck knife.
Some peyote. Figure it out,
Find
kid.
God,
Yeah, you're
dumbass.
right. I just like how you took that and ran with it. Like, yeah, actually, you know what? My 7-year-old's gonna fight a wolf.
What I'm saying is, do the thing that would rule, dude. Wrestle a bear like an old American
Just give him a spear
legend.
like in 300 because and a legend was born.
Yeah.
Hey, pick 3 of your friends.
A warrior
and just
king.
say good luck.
Yeah, but they'll have already
are the
been
rules?
doing all of the other thing, and then it'll just build off of that. But they'll learn
Right.
skills.
Well, it's like so I'd never
It'll be the
because that
apocalypse
happened
by
and my parents always told me why it was happening. I never had resentment attached to it. So it's like I always went, okay, I kind of get what they're doing.
That's
I
good.
was pissed.
Yeah,
but
that's
like
good.
it worked. It worked.
Yeah, so
So
what-
more rehab than punishment.
Right.
Like we are rehabilitating your behavior and funneling into something. That's a solid. It sounds like.
But
you
it
got good
it
parents.
worked on me. I was like, oh, okay. Well, this is nice because there's no hitting. I was like,
My mom smoked in the house and hit me with a wooden spoon. Very different. Very different.
oh, dude, I've definitely been smacked. Like,
No.
like sometimes you say the wrong word around your dad, and you just catch like right over the ear. Just one of
box in the
just
ear.
does a little discombobulate.
and he can't break. He can't be like, I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to get you.
Oh no. But I do love when like your parents will
commit.
like if your parents wail on you, and then the next morning it's business as usual.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't want to have to do that.
Oh, really?
It got to like my dad was so
it's
bad
gonna
at
hurt.
it.
It's gonna hurt you more than it hurts me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I disagree.
My dad was so bad at it because
definitely
his of everybody in his generation, his mom was like the only one who didn't get at him. Like,
Yeah.
his grandma would get at him a little bit, but he hated to spank. So he would.
I could tell. I met your dad. He seems like a
he's
sweet.
He's a
guy,
hard ass
dude.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
But he like there were times where it was like, and I I was like 6 feet tall by the time I was 14. Sorry, dude. And so my dad's 5'6", 5'7". And mom's like, wait till your dad gets home, and I'm like trying to hide laughing in her face because he's
so I can look down on him?
He's gonna be like weeping, and I'm laying over the bed, and he's trying to get me with the belt. And then at some point I was like, doesn't even hurt. Is it supposed to hurt? I'm like egging him on.
So I had a little bit of that too. Yeah. But then then they found the exercise loophole, and I was like,
that's right.
So why do you think you hate exercising now?
well, dude, I literally did it 6 hours a day for 12 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I need a break.
You do need a break, dude.
I've had enough of a break.
It's a balance now that you don't need to compete at a high level.
Hold on. You know what, dude? Officially, hey, Nathan, right now, you're grounded.
Damn, dude.
And you're gonna get
We've actually brought in
2
some
weeks.
logs outside. There's some logs outside on a pallet, dude.
I am not a
Riot.
I didn't have a dad growing up, and so it was like I skated by with just single mom punishment, and most of it was like you're coming to 579 with me, like you're coming to the mall with me.
We're going thrifting.
Hold on. What's
5'7" is a very
It's
very
like a Tuesday morning.
Yeah, you're talking about an obscure reference that there's only one other comedian that's ever made a 5'7" reference.
Interesting.
Ever, yeah.
Were they funny?
They make like they have like
Lace
picture
Larry.
frames and like stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, but they it was a very very specific store
Gotcha.
for like clothing and jeans.
Okay,
and
cool.
Kind of like the early Forever 21.
Sure, yeah.
Mine would always be. It was never like
Mall
it wasn't like clothing shopping. It was always like, oh, we need to get supplies.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
She's just getting dried food and buckets from the local prepper store.
Dude, my mom is a prepper now.
Hell
So she,
yeah. My
so
grandpa's
about a
prepper.
year ago, the flip switched for her, and I come in and she's like reading a book about what to do if there's an EMP blast.
Awesome.
Like, and she found some guide, and she has in the
Is it the
basement.
old way? Have you seen those two guys?
Dude, it's something like
or
that.
the
So now
Lost
it's like
Ways or
I
whatever
think
it's
called.
I think in my parents' basement they have at least 5 months of water and food.
oh man, my grandpa's got my grandpa has a whole room. He has a room, and he has 2 years of
Is that Blinken? I'm listening.
Yes.
2 years free. Yeah, 2 years freeze dried food, and he has
Damn, dude, one upspin shit. over
he's
here.
got
Right? There's no need for that. I'm
He's
trying to
been
talk.
on it for a while, though.
Yeah.
This is not to discourage your mom
This is
and her
a
quest.
lady who cooks with a crock pot.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a Betty Crocker.
Yeah,
there.
this isn't a man with weapons. This
Yeah,
is my mother.
With
So the
expert level weapons training.
Sorry.
She's playing.
dude.
She's playing online bridge and she's prepping.
Solitaire to
She's
the wee
bird
hours.
watching. She's playing online bridge and she's studying electromagnetic pulse weaponry.
So sick.
Yeah,
That's a good mom.
That's a good mom.
That's a good mom right there.
That is a top tier Fox News mom.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, my friend has a Newsmax mom. I'm like, ooh, too much.
Newsmax is rough.
Bring it, dial it back a little bit.
You've got a real Mad Maxine, baby.
Yeah, well, but she gets worried. She gets worried. So it's like, dude, even the like she's totally. She has like a couple of her friends that have gone full conspiracy.
Cool.
Like I've dosed her with some of mine.
Yeah.
I definitely have to. Can you hit that button again?
I think it's.
Sorry, I'm just trapped here. I know. I just saw it change.
Okay, there you go.
fear change.
Yeah, I just got it.
And hope.
Yeah. So she does, yeah. So she has a, like, her friends are getting into conspiracies. Like, I showed her some, and you know how your mom will just, like, whatever's on Facebook.
Yeah.
And she does this, and she goes, like,
Yeah, you gotta help.
did you know all the voting machines are from Argentina? And you're like, I don't think they are.
You got to help your mom sort out the Facebook stuff, dude.
Yeah.
But she has,
Because
like,
there's some good stuff and there's some.
she has one friend who is full blown. This is so funny. Like a 50, she's probably in her early 60s. Nice Presbyterian, well-to-do lady, full blown flat Earth now.
Oh, flat Earth is a rough look.
Full blown
Flat Earth
flat Earth to the point where
Yeah.
like, she's talking about the names of the different islands. And she's like,
Okay,
and this
cool.
one has giants, and you're like, sitting there going, okay.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Wow.
As a proud member of the big ass Earth community, we look down. We look down on flat earthers.
Big ass Earth. What is this theory?
Big ass hollow Earth, dude.
That it's actually way bigger.
I'm combining stuff now, but yeah, that it's huge and that there is this firmament of ice that the flat earthers talk about, but it's only because there's only some parts of the Earth that are thawed, and the Earth's like 14 times bigger than you think it is.
That's a fun theory.
I like it. It's fun. I like to think that this one is like the purgatory where we're like testing our metal,
and I like
the
that,
other ones are like the Great Wolf Lodge, where it's just, water slides and mushrooms, and we're having fun. But you have to earn getting to those.
I just love the idea that it's something that every pilot in the world is in on.
Yeah.
That's a wild.
They're all keeping the secret.
Why do you think they only have so much gas? Can't fly across 700 miles of frozen tundra.
It's like I've had a few friends in my life go through the process to get a pilot's license, and they're mouth breathing retarded.
They all live in LA.
They're like, they understand charts and graphs a little bit, but they've never kept a secret in their life.
But that's kind of the fun thing too, is it's like pilots would know. It's like there are still some brilliant pilots, but there's also people who are totally instrument dependent.
Yeah.
There's like,
without this meter, I don't know what to do.
Right, I'm not sure what altitude means.
That's very true.
Calling out pilots on the low show, dude.
Get it together, pilots.
Yeah.
Oops.
There was one recently where they said Elvis isn't dead. He's just a pastor in Arkansas.
I like that.
And he's like, look at this face. I was like, this one? And I was like, I was like, this 100% is not correct.
But then you hear him talk, and you're
and
like,
then 92, 92%.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kind of on board.
It's pretty close.
Can't rule it out.
I like Birds Aren't Real. That one's fun.
Birds Aren't Real caught on. And I have a theory about theories. Like Flat Earth, I have a theory that it's all a big created conspiracy to get like grant money and stuff.
Oh,
because I think that happens.
I was gonna say that it's a conspiracy to discredit plausible conspiracy, where it's like if you say something ridiculous to your friend who's not into it at all, but you're like, but look, I have all these receipts, and they're like, you are flat Earth, like you are birds aren't real.
I do
and
think
it's like,
that's
can't
what. Yeah.
some of the birds be not real drones, and some of the birds be real?
That's
all
how
or
they
not.
get you.
All or not.
And so that's the problem. It's a zero-sum game out there, dude. We can't have nuance. Can't have nothing.
Dude, nuance is a trick of the globalist elite.
That's right.
And
There is no gray, baby.
You seen these fake trees?
Yeah, dude. Are you talking about the towers?
cell tower trees,
cell towers. I was like, why are you trying to make it look like a tree? Because
So
we
they-
said it was
sometimes
ugly?
in California they do some like a couple that look like palm trees, and you're like, come on, dude. Like they'll say, well, we're trying not to ruin the landscape. I'm like, you're ruining it.
This bitch has been ruined for a long time, dude.
I just picture, just the Steve Buscemi with the backwards hat, just like, hello, fellow trees.
Hello, fellow trees. That would rule.
How are you?
What about some comedy news? What's going on? You guys been writing some jokes, doing? You excited about some shows coming up?
I got
all kinds of things.
Run your set, actually.
Anybody here from out of town?
No, tell us jokes.
No. That's my whole set. They got front, beginning, and end. We got our first showcase here tomorrow. We're very excited about that. The little showcase.
Proud of you, bud. That's
Thank
super
you.
awesome. That's
When
very,
this
very cool.
podcast comes out in a year, that'll have been a
It's
long
not
time
going to be a year. It's going to be literally a month. I'm doing like 2 or 3 episodes today.
I know.
So I'm going to get to 6,
Couple in
and
the
then I'll
bank.
start putting them up, and then just so I have a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah. Also, thank you for the invitation here. It's nice to you came into the Atlanta comedy scene, and I was like, who is this big dumb gorilla? And I was a fan, and you were like, who's this tiny twink?
Don't put words in my mouth.
Oh well, you wrote it down, which was crazy.
This sexy little spinner.
No, and we and then TJ comes on the scene and just kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's a lot of things that are very kind of kismet and that happened all kind of at once, and I like it. I like that when life kind of just unfolds kind of perfectly. What am I, chopped liver?
No. I was saying
When you were saying
talking about us. You were
compliments
saying
about
like
okay.
compliments.
We got
about
a
us.
woogity.
We had a woogity woo.
I'm insecure. Help me.
If we're woogeting you for the compliments, it feels like an exchange.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Very
because it's
true.
like if you do that, because you're gonna cheat the camera and say nice things.
Is that what's called cheating the camera? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
And we will tell your wife, dude. Don't.
Yeah, that's
Stop looking at the camera.
My wife. I don't know if is that a no-no? on podcasting? Are you not supposed to do that?
No. It's nice. We like it, but
Okay.
it's like, but we're all so insecure. So when people compliment us, we go like,
Stop it. No. But everything kind of seems. There's that big. The comedy boom is still kind of. We're at the peak of it.
Right.
There's so many good comics out there, and to be able to get, I think Atlanta's probably one of the best comedy scenes in the country. What do you think about that?
I'm kidding. We're in it. Well, so there's definitely a resurgence happening right now, and since we are giving compliments, when I moved here a little over a year ago, you and JB were the first guys to give me anything, any look. JB King, JB King. But you guys were the first to give me some good looks and give me some good shows, and then I got to meet the OTP boys through you. And like all of us just clicked immediately. Yeah, and that was directly because of y'all's influence. Yeah. I was like,
well, thanks. I love comedy. I love producing comedy. I love doing comedy and love hosting it. I love everything about it. And except the late nights, I want to get some.
I thought
sleep.
you were about to say except the ladies.
Ladies.
No,
I love everything about it. I don't get hit on. What am I trying to find a bunch of girls who look like
about lady comedy?
No, yeah.
I was like, how obvious is he gonna have to make this before?
No.
That he was just being
no.
a dick.
Believe it or not,
I'm being a dick.
I'm gonna defend the female comics out there. There's a lot of the
finally someone can champion them.
Sidedoor Schrilla coming.
You get shit on, but I will say this: there's something that's happening that when females and female comics get to like a headliner and like after that feature good level, they start like romping through some rooms. Like some of the best headliners I've had in some of my shows have been females, and there's just like this weird transition. The ones that make it through, it's like, you guys ever played Red Rover?
Yeah.
You know when someone breaks through, like, oh, this person's getting through.
Yeah.
Not as many females, but the females that do, it's like, whoa, watch out for them.
And it's
If you want,
just like
if
in
you want.
elementary school. When a girl would break through your arms, you're like, do I love you? I don't know. I don't understand. I'm not sure how to feel right now.
But
So I'm going to clip off several things. If you want, I can clip off that part and just send it to you so that you can get all the things that you're wanting to get out of this.
I have a shell of sexism I'm trying to keep up, so I'm trying not to agree too hard, dude.
Yeah.
We tell the line.
my track
Ryan
speaks.
just looks right. It's like, I just want to see all women succeed.
I'm dressed up
Not
like
all
the
women.
sexist shaman.
Well,
dude.
it's like, here's my honest opinion. I think that it is equally hard for both genders to succeed in this business. So
It's
like,
tough, man.
Yeah, and
Comedy's
it's just statistically less women are doing it.
It's not that hard.
So the
It's
numbers
fucking
seem
hard.
smaller.
He's right. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's an easy thing to everybody.
I'm just as impressed when a guy breaks through. Like anytime somebody breaks through and they become household names or something like that, I'm like, yes, please.
No, yeah, and the thing about the difference between the fellas and the ladies is it's when a dude is bad at comedy, it is so obvious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you're like, well, it all feels kind of unspoken. But every once in a while, you'll run across a cocky lady who's like getting applause or whatever from like some sort of pandering thing, and you just don't know how to be like, that wasn't
Yeah.
what you're looking for.
Right.
That was fun in its own way. And
I've seen both of those things happen. For
and
sure.
dudes do that plenty
But
too.
those situations
guys
always
just
suss
don't.
themselves out over
Of
time.
course.
So it's like,
that's not sustainable. That's a very true thing.
it's nothing you have to say. Like you never have to go to it's like, that wasn't a joke, right? Like no, she's gonna get it.
She'll figure it out.
It'll happen when you try to book a rig room and then you bomb, because that's what unifies all comics is getting cocky. We all do it.
Yeah.
We will get 3 or 4 good shows on your belt and you're like, I am unstoppable.
I am the man.
And then you go up and you have a 20-minute set and everyone just looks at you like, hey, you're actually a big old loser.
You're a nutcase.
That's a good question.
Or you have one joke that doesn't work. You get in your head that everybody else thinks that. You tank your own set. Those are fun too. But that happens to all comics. It's not something that's exclusive to men or women. Girls get cocky because a lot of times, especially if they're a good-looking woman, they can book big rooms and they have a large, like girls with a large social media presence, and they think they can go in there and just do a podcast. And here's the problem. Or not problem. A lot of them can succeed doing that.
Yeah, of course.
Because the girls who listen to their podcast and the people that do that, that's what they want.
Right.
And that's not bad. Like I've become, and I'm only 7 years in, I'm still a rookie here. But the longer I get in, I see it's like, people that I would even consider bad comics are objectively good at what they're doing. They are selling tickets. They're selling tickets. They are providing value for the people that enjoy the content that they make.
There's a ton of paths.
There's a ton of paths.
And there's a ton of like varying degrees of people who want to be supportive, who want to like find a thing that resonates with them.
But I always get a little irked when I see comics, and I'm guilty of it too. But when I catch that thought, it's like, but they're not doing it right.
We're
just like, well, what is this? We're calling like, let's take it down a notch.
Chill out, Germany. There's no need for all this purist bullshit.
If the answer is 10, if the answer to comedy is 10, you can get there a bunch. You can add 9 and 1. You can divide 20 by 2. There's a lot of ways to get to that right answer.
You made it about math, and I don't get it. I don't understand it.
It's fucking
10 is a big number, and 9 and 1 are smaller numbers.
10 is the circle.
You want me talking colors, you fucking idiots?
He's a big shapes guy.
Right? I'm not a smart dude.
Let me throw a rhombus at you. You're like, no.
No, we've all been talking about this.
Who's rhombus?
How? It's
Sounds like a candidate.
I think I voted for rhombus.
Rhombus.
Wait, isn't rhombus a Mormon from Mexico?
I think it's the lady from Mario Smash or whatever.
There's a lot of sides.
Rhombus in Mario Kart. Yeah, I play Rhombus in Mario Kart.
There's a lot of sides to her.
Yeah, or maybe that's Samus.
Rhombus joke? Screw you guys.
That took me way too long.
We've been talking about this.
He pretends to be dumb.
It's just something.
Well, you fooled me. You got me.
say,
I believed it. Hook, line, and sinker.
This motherfucker deserves an Oscar, dude.
No, I'm also dumb. I didn't go to college. I saw the movie Inception.
Stop saying.
Watch. I saw the movie Inception.
College is not the mark.
No,
You've been to a college campus?
Yeah, it's very true. I've seen the movie Inception. This is real. I've seen the movie Inception 11 times. Still don't.
I learned everything I was going to learn before college. I learned.
Writing.
I want you to know.
Nothing new.
I only hurt my brain in college.
Nothing. Okay. That I can see. I get that.
I doused it in alcohol.
Yeah.
And I added some bad ideas.
I thought you were gonna say bath salts.
Added a little bit of bath salts.
Ate
just
that guy's face.
No big deal. Came a zombie for a semester. No big deal.
I think everybody should experience it. Actually.
Yeah, but it's like basically what I'm saying is like I have gotten, because I hate seeing jaded comics, dudes who are just like, they always want to talk about how much people suck.
The scene's
like,
garbage.
Dude, you don't understand. It's all clicky. I'm like, yeah, all those things are true. But
but that's your fault for not having fun.
It's your fault for letting it ruin your day.
Yeah, dude.
Or letting it be something that you think about for any longer than 1 second.
That's the thing is like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Any effort that you have complaining about that, if you took even just half of that and put it into like clever joke writing,
Right. Yeah.
that's what you need.
That's the thing is like, it's the sort of bad shot in golf. It's like, well, don't let somebody else's bad shot turn into you having a shit round or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, if you can, the buck stops with you, and you're like, no matter what, there's going to be weird shows. There's going to be weird mics. There's going to be weird like clicks. There's going to be annoying things.
The variance
There's
of
a ton
comedy.
of variance, but it's like if you're committed to this idea of having fun for its own sake and making jokes for their own sake,
Like,
it's like
you
then
get to
it's
choose.
fun.
Like, especially like comics that are producing their own shows, stuff like that. If you don't think someone's funny, just don't book them.
You don't have to book them.
Yeah,
You don't have to book them. You don't have to. You don't have to trash them all around town.
You don't have to be their best friend,
and
you
that
don't
says
have
a
to-
lot
yeah.
because that says. I mean, the fact that you don't book someone kind of says it.
Yeah,
you know
without saying it.
that's exactly right. That's what you can. That's the best thing you do. And if you're an audience member, like, whoa, heckling only kind of emboldens people sometimes. And like if someone heckles, because you're going to give them a clip. You're going to give them something to work with,
exactly.
and then the best thing you can do to a comic that you don't think is funny is simply not laugh.
Yeah.
That's it.
That speaks volumes.
Ooh wee. Well, where's Bomb? Let's go on. Let me ask you that. TJ, you haven't been in comedy long enough to have a big old bomb.
All of my actual shows I've crushed, so I don't know. I'm just
Been 1,000.
We've
buddy.
seen you at these shows.
Yeah, over.
Come on, dude.
But he is doing a crowd work show. I'm curious to see that
That'll
crowd
be
work
interesting.
show. Both of you are actually on that show.
I was gonna plug it, but this won't be out in time. But
But
but it would have
encapsulated all of us.
It's a crowd work show.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm excited to do this. This is the first time, and I'm thinking I'm going to do this at this venue or at one of my venues.
be at Blue Door?
Yeah, but we're going through an overhaul right now, so this probably would be a next year show, but it might be another venue where there's a lot of reshifting, new year, new stuff, new kind of formats, new schedules, and then Helium. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to be spending a lot of time and money at this place.
Nice.
Yeah, I really will.
Really investing into the community.
Yeah. But my worst bomb is like I told a joke and it was so quiet. I heard this lady's phone. She was like clicking on her.
Like a T9?
No,
No.
Like
not
when
that.
somebody
I know I'm
still,
old, but
when somebody still has the sound on for some reason. Of the
Oh, it's like
iPhone.
someone's back there cranking a
I just-
Victrola.
this girl's thumbs were just going. This black lady with long fingernails, and I can hear like her fingernails clicking.
Oh.
And oop.
There we go.
But it was so bad, and I was like, "Ooh, this is rough. This is, I don't like this feeling at all." And I wrote a joke about bombing because of how bad it felt. I was like, "Oh, that's good." And so it gave me, bombing feels like if you were to date someone for a really long time and have them and muster up the courage to say "I love you," and then they say thanks. It's like it's a good. I'm trying to write more examples. I'm
Except
sure.
for at least they reacted at all. Right?
Yeah.
So what was the feeling after the set? What did you do? How'd you cut?
How'd the gun taste?
And how many years in were you?
0.8 years.
Oh, okay.
But yes, it was. But it was like one of the first times that I got kind of really booked in the city, and it was like, wow, this is real. This is you taking your steps. And
Do you want to say where it was at?
I wasn't ready. Yeah, I mean, it was a dynamic Eldorado show.
Okay.
But still, it was audience. It was civilians.
Yeah.
And it was people. And
How many people?
a dozen.
That doesn't hurt too bad.
Yeah, but well, for me, it's one of the first ones that really,
Those 12
really
people don't get me.
It's more when there's hundreds of people going.
These people want
I
to
don't
so
like
bad.
anything about you.
So if I
We all agree.
I did. I was blessed enough to do that room on one of the opening weekend, and I'm gonna
Brag, baby.
definitely gonna brag about
Let
that
it
for a very
rip.
long time. But it was I performed in front of hundreds of people before. The Punchline, different things. I featured for I've done some feature stuff. Nothing crazy, but if I had that set with that amount of people, I probably would have. I may have quit. I'd be like, I'm a good.
So here's the big difference.
Producing's fine.
You can forgive yourself for most of the bombs in the first 2 or 3 years of your career because usually you're showing up in places that don't want you there.
Yeah,
So like
I can
you're
see
Bar
that.
and grill,
or it's like,
whatever.
or even it's like they're all free shows. Someone's there, so like
party.
the thing that'll kill you is when a bunch of people were excited to see you, and then they change their minds.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a
that's
bunch
giving
of
me like.
yeah. It's like
you
doesn't
go
just
and
tight.
steal the souls and smiles of
Yeah.
100
Yeah.
plus
It just
they
ruined your time.
wanted to laugh
They went-
and they couldn't with you.
All right. So when was that?
Yeah.
When
So
was
there's
that?
plenty of. I'll tell there's several, but like when like they wanted it. They really came in to laugh. They spent money
And
to
I
go
could
out
not
and
get it
laugh.
hard.
And, and they collectively said, "I just can't pull it off." Most bad bombs, like I've had 2 or 3 that like were really soul crushing in my 7 years, and they always happened right after a great show. So like they always came on the heels of hubris of like where you
comes before the
crush.
fall.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that one where you're wearing the coat is my favorite one.
Okay. So that is the one.
rough story.
So it's so that pea coat. I love that pea coat. It was the douchiest thing I'd ever owned because I got it from a heckler. So like
nice.
when you have a heckler that's like really bothering you and you destroy them, and then after the show they try to be your best friend.
Sure.
So that happens a lot. And like so I'm talking to this guy after the show. It's in San Francisco. This guy's like a tech bro. Can you punch that button?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. It's so annoying.
Don't apologize, dude. It's gay.
So it's this this heckler shows up to the show. He's talking. I shout him down and like basically dedicate the whole back 9 of my set to ruining this guy. Like tearing about his outfit, his date, his parents, asked him a couple targeted questions, made fun of his like life goals and beliefs.
Assassin.
Yeah, just like character assassination of this
What
guy.
are your dreams? Oh, those are dumb. Yeah.
Yeah. And is that recording? All right, I think.
Damn.
Yeah, and after the show, he comes up to me. He's trying to be my best friend, and he's wearing this like almost ankle length gray peacoat.
Yeah.
Like
Yo,
the
comedy
full blown
Columbine?
but this is like not Columbine, not a trench
Mafia?
coat. This is like Gordon Gecko.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, okay.
Wall Street
And
stuff.
so I'm like, hey man, because he's trying to be buddy. He's coming up and like bothering me and my friends as we're talking, and I'm like, gonna try on your jacket? And he goes, yeah, I try it on, and then I just walk outside to smoke a cigarette, as I smoked back then.
Yeah.
And I walk out and I go around the corner just as a joke with my friends. I'm like, all right, well, we better give it back to this guy. I reach in the pocket. It's got his wallet. It's got his ID in it. I'm like, all right.
my God.
So I turn the corner to go give it back to him. And there's a cop car in front of the bar now. And this guy, a cop has his head and he's putting him into a cop car.
God.
That guy's getting arrested.
Holy shit.
I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that part.
So he's getting arrested, put in the car. I'm like, oh no. And I go up to the cop and go, these are his.
But not the coat.
Oh no, I kept the gun. I gave him the wallet, and I was a piece of shit back then. But I give him the wallet and the keys. They drive off, and this is just now my coat. And but every time I put it on, I looked like a cop. I had the short hair and everything. I looked like the douchiest person in the world. And so I go home to Atlanta. I'm like a year into comedy at this point. And I go home to Atlanta, and I book a show at a place called the Oak or Oak. Twin Oaks, something like that. I don't know. It doesn't exist anymore. But it was a comedy club that like Kevin Hart came to all the time, or like Chris Rock. Like you'd hear about it. So it was like a nightclub, black club, and there was all in this place was basically like there were booths and red velvet ropes, and all over the venue were TVs that projected the stage. And like above a bar, there was a big, huge screen that projected the stage. Okay. And I got there 30 minutes early. Because I'm like, all right, dude, I'm a kid. Like I'm wet behind the L. I'm nervous as hell. I get there, no one's there. The place is completely empty. There's just a nice middle-aged African-American woman at the front that just goes, oh, sugar, why don't you just sit down, have yourself, like she brought me some wings. Nice. And she's like, the booker will come over to talk to you in a minute. I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting there waiting. Booker comes over to me and he goes, you're the California guy, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, all right, well, I'll let you know. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, if you can go on, like the list might be full. I'll let you know. I'm like, all right. Yeah. So I'm there. And then the place starts filling in, like just hundreds of people. I'm the only white person in the entire building. And they bring it in and everyone's there. And then Tyler from Wild and Out is hosting.
Nice.
And Tyler, the creator, is host, or not Tyler, the creator. Tyler, he's got a moniker. Yeah. But he's hosting.
A black comic with a moniker?
Yeah.
It's all love, baby.
But so this guy goes up on stage. He goes, I got the whole list right here. And I'm like thinking, okay, I'm not going to be on this show. Fine. That's fine. I'm just going to sit. I'm going to enjoy it. So I start having a couple drinks.
Have these wings.
First guy goes on, bombs hard. Everyone's like heckling. Like this is Apollo level heckling shit. Like, and ruins him. Second guy goes on and kills and then loses it a little bit at the end. Halfway through the third guy that's having an okay set, the booker comes back up to me and he goes, California guy, right? And I went, yeah. And he goes, cool, you next. I was like, oh no. And I meant to ask him because I wanted to see if I had enough time to go outside and smoke or something like that. I meant to say, how much time does he have left? Because he goes, you got 5. I'm like, cool. How long does he have? And he goes, that don't matter. You got 5. I was like, all right.
That don't matter.
So I go over. I'm wearing the trench coat. They bring me up to California Love.
Nice.
And I go up. And just, I have no experience. I'm a year in, and I think, all right, I'm going to go balls to the wall here. Because, like, there's this guy in the front row, so there's all these booths and stuff. But around the stage, there's these couches. And there's this guy in the front row that was getting picked apart by the other dudes. And he had a blue hoodie with a red hood. And I went on there, and I was like, hey, man, I'm not going to pick on you like everybody else. Sorry about that. But to be fair, blue hoodie with a red hood, pick a fucking side. and the whole crowd is going, oh, white boy said to pick a side.
He made a Crips and Blood joke.
And then,
Blue Crip in
exactly.
the front.
And I think I did like 4 minutes.
Blip in the front.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 minutes or something like that. But everything worked after that. I did like all this stuff that I did in San Francisco, and like the jokes worked. And I go off stage and I'm beaming. Like, oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened. Black people like me. I'm killing it, dude. Like, you don't understand. I'm like, dude, I think it was the peacoat a little bit. Like,
it was the peacoat.
I came in, I'm a little swagged out right now. Like,
I said every black person goes, it's a peacoat a little bit, man.
So I'm taking pictures with everybody after the show. I'm like, dude, I'm like doing this. Like, I'm like, it's fully
You totally deserve what's coming.
Yeah. And I'm going home to my family. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be.
This is good.
He did not, in fact.
Oh, yeah. I go home to my parents. I'm like, good news, guys. I'm famous next week. Like it's all happening.
Oh, yeah.
And so I get home. I'm bragging and everything. And my sister, she's like, oh. Well, so after the show, after I'm taking pictures with everybody, the booker comes back up to me and he goes, hey, man, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, nothing. He goes, I want to book you again. There's another show in Atlanta. I'm like, great. I'm on it. I got another show from this. I go home. I'm telling my parents
Gary
about
Owens. That's
Yeah.
right. I am.
it. I'm bragging to my sister and her friends about it. My sister's like, well, I'm going to bring my roommate. Is that cool? I'm like, yeah, bring everybody.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to kill it.
I'm the man.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm the star. So she drives me to this thing. It's the following day. I wear the pea coat again. I get there, and everybody in the venue. This is not like last time. I get there at showtime because now I'm cool. Like, yeah, I get there at showtime. The place is already full. Everybody there has.
Room doesn't start on time. You're good.
Everybody there has dinner plates.
You're dapping people.
They all, yeah.
What's up?
I walk in. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And
Calling
the
people
bouncer. I come up. Yeah, exactly.
what's up, shawty?
I walk into the bouncer like, hey, man, don't worry, I'm here. He goes, who are you? Like, dude, just the reality of it all came crashing in.
You should have been like, never mind. I'm good. I'm just here to watch the show.
If you want to be a white guy humbled, just ask a black guy.
I walk up to the
cool.
booker. I walk up to the booker. I'm like, hey man, so what's happening? He goes, oh yeah, I got you. And just very dismissive of me, which I'm like, why? Like, this guy doesn't even respect me.
He's fucking with me. Dude.
Yeah, and I have nothing. And
Did you see my set last time?
well, so I did well in that room.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize like this was not going to be that. Everyone's having dinner. Everyone has ice and plates.
Oh, nice.
And he brings me up first, which is mean the dude, the only white guy on the lineup, because he didn't have a cool intro or a nice intro. My sister and her friend are trying to come in.
Oh, I remember the intro.
As soon as I start, and they never left the doorway. Like, they kind of peeked their heads in, saw what was happening, and they just kind of hovered there.
We're going to stand behind the splash zone.
So I get on stage. I think his intro was, here's a white guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like, and we got a show going on for you guys. All going to be good. But before all that, here's a white guy. And I come up to less than no applause. Like, it was nothing. And I can hear forks hitting plates and knives. And I get up. And I'm wearing this stupid pea coat, and I'm realizing for the first time how dumb the pea coat looks. As I'm walking, I'm like, this is so stupid. I'm wearing like a t-shirt under it, like my fat's coming out. I'm like, it's dumb. And I get on there, and I look out to this sea of people that are like passively looking up like this from like their plates. And before I start, I'm like bringing my mouth up to the mic, and from the other side of the room, which must have been 25, 30 yards away, I hear under their breath someone just go, "This is fun."
That's great.
Everything tanked, and I had no tools. I had no tools in my tool belt. I'm a year in. Stuff's not working. I'm like, anyway, are you from out of town? Like, I don't have anything. Like, my jokes are terrible. And he lets me go long, so it's like it ends up becoming like 7 to 8 minutes. Yeah, they're in the back just, and I'm just tanking, and it's not. They're not heckling me.
No,
there is nothing but
it's like pity.
It is it's
indifference.
Indifference with a tinge of just bile.
It's
just like I disgusted them.
Right.
And
oh my gosh,
I get off stage to no applause. The booker comes back up and goes something like, "Well, we got that out of the way," or like said something along those lines.
Put you into a humility ritual.
Well, there we go. Now we're gonna start the show, and like it was horrible.
That's funny how it's like now we're gonna start the show. Like, well, he was part of it. Now after he spoke, we denounced that.
I walk back. The booker,
he's not part of the show.
He was a diversity hire.
Yeah, we have to hire one white guy.
I walk over to the booker. I'm like, "Thanks, man." He goes, "Well, that was that."
That was that.
And I go to my sister, and they're still in the doorway. Her friend has left now. She did not want to talk to me after. I wasn't hate, like, there were no jokes that were offensive or anything like that. They just weren't good. Nothing was good. I didn't get angry at the audience. I didn't do any of that, but it's just nothing worked.
It's not great.
And I get in the car with my sister, and we're driving back in silence, and I'm just like, I'm mortified. and I look over, and my sister, who's a lovely person now, and
Shout out to her.
yeah, shout out Rachel. She looks over and she's trying to be nice. She's trying to help, but what she says is just to this day the most mean, like gut, like knife in the gut. Is she just looks at me and goes, "You're good at a lot of stuff."
Savage.
You're good at a lot. You can do anything.
That's
how you want to do.
A kid that just tries Little League and just can't runs the wrong way. You're like,
You're good at
hey,
singing.
your coloring is amazing.
It was 6 years before any member of my family saw me do stand up again. Like I was like, this has to be a sure deal.
Yeah.
Which I think was at Blue Door.
Sister, yeah.
She
Hot
came
show,
and saw
by the way.
You turned that pea coat into a bomber jacket.
Oh, boom. Bow, 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 bow.
And on that, see you guys. No, I didn't start.
Well, that was that.
That's awesome.
But I mean, do the rooms you can do. I tell every comic, it does not matter.
Yeah.
Take everything.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
every single thing that you can.
Vegan rooms,
Especially
black rooms,
in, like-
suburban rooms,
Oh
old
my
rooms,
gosh.
country club rooms. It doesn't. You do,
And
do
especially
it all.
in like a young comedy town like Atlanta, I consider comparatively compared to
New York,
LA, and Austin, Austin and Chicago right now. It's like it's
scene, right?
So right
Yeah,
now
I
it's
would
like
say
we
so.
don't know necessarily what the gold in the scene is yet. Like I was like, well, this might just be me as a layman coming in for only a year and still trying to like grip
say
it. But
it's OTP is where
where it's at.
people need and have the best like shows, because we have a whole lot of diverse communities in OTP.
Yeah.
In ITP, you kind of have these pockets in Atlanta, like Candler Park. You have a little bit of, there's little red pockets and blue pockets, and like, well, it's very blue, but like, there's like different types of laughs, and you go to certain neighborhoods, like you go to the old Fourth Ward. There's certain types of people,
Right.
But in OTP, there's colleges out here. You have places like Sandy Springs, Buckhead, Milton, Atlanta. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of concentration of Indians in some areas. There's a lot of types of places out OTP, specifically OTP North,
Right.
and especially right now where Helium's at. There is a hotbed of a whole bunch of good audiences.
Yeah.
And so, you go out to those rooms and places. That's why I like to have I have a lot of different types of venues, and there's a lot of
This motherfucker collecting venues like Pokemon.
yeah. I'm just catching them all.
I gotta catch them.
That's how I treat audiences like Pokemon. I just try and catch them all. I try and catch all those audiences. Yeah.
And if I can't get you, I'll
Yeah.
battle you till you're too tired. And then I'll get
Yeah. Because I mean, if you have old white folks that are well-to-do, if you have some young blue-collar folks, you have black audiences, white audiences, married audiences. You have a whole different types of jokes that'll work for different things. Because you're going to make a percentage of that crowd laugh. For sure. Hopefully all of them, but if not, at least with this joke and that joke, it's going to hit different spots, and it's that's a good thing.
figure out how to do that. I gotta Google that. Goog, give it a goog because that's annoying.
Yeah.
Trying to get all the annoying stuff. Like I think this will have all the kinks out of it in like a month.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an awesome fucking thing. I'm looking forward to listening to this while I work. Yeah. This is one of those things that
I'm looking forward.
Beautiful Losers is also something I listen to while I work. It's a
Quality
very cool
cast.
one.
That's good.
Silly. It's
goosey.
funny. They say the word dragon a lot.
We say dragon.
Just
You can
a
play a
lot of
shot
dragon.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can play a beer game.
That'd be fun. I thought about doing a stand up bingo, like open mic bingo, where I have cards and one square is like the N word, or
All
like
right.
one square. No, I'm just kidding.
We
But
only
one
get
square
black
is like
comics.
it'd be like I look like. You have
Okay.
sure,
So
yeah.
I did this. I did a version of this.
that'd be fun. I think that'd
It's
be
fun.
fun.
So things that comics say a lot, tropes. It's something really fun to do
What
at a mic.
else?
What else
The
is
only
worst?
the only thing I would caution you on is make sure that comics don't see the sheet before.
No. This is
Because-
strictly for civilians.
I know, but sometimes like I did that twice. The first time it did not work because the comics found out about it and they just went on stage and did a bunch of them.
Knocked out squares.
Like in a row. Yeah, they're just banging out squares.
No, so I'm gonna do that, and I won't tell anybody. It'll be blind, and then I'll pass them out when the comics are else. I thought about doing that. There's a lot of fun stuff because comedy is like we have enough just regular old format shows.
Sure.
Stand up, which is good. That's what we need.
Yeah.
More stand up, mo better.
Right.
And
Mo stand up, mo better.
And so, but there's a little like the comedy clubhouse in Laughing Skull has a very fun thing.
Right.
And so just having fun with it, because that's what we're here to do. Anytime you're at a show or at just thinking about stand up, you don't want to have to like, not all the time, have to think too much. It's just fun. Get loose, have fun. Yeah. And those little game show, variety show type things, I think I might see more of. I think I'm going to do more of that because I have enough standard comedy stuff going on.
Right.
And I want to see what else can be done. There's little holes in the comedy market, and
I'm gonna fill.
I'm gonna fill those holes.
I'm gonna fill those holes, man.
Yeah, I'm so horny right now. But I want to see kind of more of that, and I think that Helium, like place like this, and
I think Helium will fill your hole.
I think I want them to. I'm sharing all their posts and everything. I hope so.
Dude, they're killing it. It's like, it is our one and only sponsor. Thank you so much, Helium, for everything you do for us.
This place rules, man.
I love you.
I'm going to be here a lot.
I'm going to go ahead and plug for you. Ryan Schrilla does shows all over this damn state. So, and other states too. Die Laughing. JB and Ryan put together 15 freaking shows a week.
You know me.
What's up, Ferg?
Jesus Christ.
So what I'm trying to do thing.
Oh yeah, we're doing it right now. We're actually I shoot several episodes a day. You're actually on right now. Yeah,
These are teasers.
Yep. We're wrapping up this episode, but
what up, Ferg?
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the second episode of the Lowcast. Thank you guys. See you next time.
When them is
Pretty long. We did that for.